I know you always learn things when Mike is here. I'm always intrigued to see what you're going to pull out. And I have to say, oh, this is our birthday surprise. I'm surprised.
Me too. Nobody's more surprised than me.
I bet.
Silver and gold have been kind of skyrocketing recently. So what I did is I took all the silver Kennedy half dollars from the 1960s in the face, because they're all silver.
Right.
And in the face of exploding silver prices, I discounted it 20%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, says this is only for the quantity on hand.
Gotcha.
They are irreplaceable for me at $79.95, and that's the key.
Well, I gotta tell, oh, and it's on FlexPay. So it's $39.98, 378003. You know, I was talking about how the penny is America's sweetheart. Yeah. My grandpa, this reminds me of my grandpa. That's what he used to, as kids, we would get the Kennedy half dollars.
The largest circulating coin in the United States for many, many years was the Kennedy half dollar. Were it not for the tragic assassination of John F. Kennedy, November 22nd, 1963, we'd still be spending Franklin half dollars. But as that happened, this nation rushed to commemorate, to memorialize one of the great American presidents. And so they did so with the Kennedy half dollar. They started it in 1964. Okay. They took as inaugural medal, and because back then it was a lot bigger deal to create the dies for a coin. And so they made the dies from the inaugural medal and ran the final design, by the way, by Jackie Kennedy.
Oh, did they really?
And what she did, if you can get in here, right here, and you can see this in the 1964 Kennedy. Today's Kennedy doesn't have that. She said, oh, I absolutely love the design, but you got to give him a little more hair. They had to add that, you know, he has that beautiful hair. And so you had to add that a little more. If you look at the Kennedy half dollar today, that's much more flattened.
Okay.
So this is like a high relief is what that was that they did in 1964. Wow. They did an ultra high relief in the uncirculated, or in the proof version. So these are the uncirculated version. So in the 1960s, they made a 1964 Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint. Then they made a 65, 66, 67, 68, and 69. That's it. Those are all the Kennedy half dollars. Those are the first 7 Kennedy half dollars from the first 6 years that they were made. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. And so that's what you have. So these are all the silver Kennedy half dollars from the 1960s in brilliant uncirculated condition. Beautiful. So look at this. So you're basically looking at $11 a coin.
Okay.
$12 a coin.
Yeah.
At $79.95.
Okay.
As an FYI, those first year of issues in brilliant uncirculated condition, this coin right here, 37 1/4, and this coin is 44.50.
Oh, no kidding.
So you're going to look at, so you've got the value of the entire set just in the two 1964s.
Oh,
and then in 65, 66, 67, 68, and 69, the 65, 66, and 67 are Philadelphia Mint. They didn't make Denver Mint. 68 and 69 are Denver Mint. They didn't make Philadelphia Mint. And so these are all the coins that the United States government released for circulation, but these are uncirculated. They are brilliant uncirculated. This has always been one of our best sellers at $99.95. I simply don't recall a time in the 21st century that I have sold these coins at $79.95.
No way.
Mostly because of the price of silver that's involved here. There's a significant amount of silver in 7 silver Kennedy half dollars. Is ultimately what this comes down for. And when I look at this on a coin by coin basis, to buy these individually, you're looking at just a tad shy of $200 in a nationally advertised catalog is what we're looking at. And that's why our Fisher price at $79, and understand, silver has been going up pretty dramatically. Well, I am keeping the exact same price. I'm keeping the exact same price. And that's the thing I find that's truly and utterly amazing, that I'm able to do that in the face of rising silver prices. I took 20% off as our special birthday surprise. So even at that $100, at our regular $99 price, it would be basically like a half off from what we'd find. Yes.
in the market.
But at the feature price, now you're looking at more like 60% off, almost 65% off. And understand, these are original coins. They're not reprinted, restruck, or redone in any way, shape, or form. I want to take this 64 here and see. These are all in airtight holders, which I'm going to see if I probably can't get into this because, I mean, they're sealed.
Yeah.
I can't quite get into that. But I just want to show you, when I'm talking about these coins, these are also gem brilliant uncirculated coins.
Beautiful. Wow, that's a good looking
coin. So you can
see
that this is just the way it was made in 1964. Look at that coin, absolutely, positively stunning. Every one of these coins is going to be brilliant uncirculated, mint state 63 or higher. They're all going to be in their own individual airtight holders that you're going to see right here. I have got a quantity of these that is limited to what I have in stock, because when I bought these is what we have. When I got these, that was all that I was able to get at this pricing for being able to do this feature pricing with this. Because silver has subsequently moved up pretty. It dropped down just enough for me to do this. We did the special feature pricing, 20% off. Like I said, at $99.95, one of the best sellers that we have, particularly when you're looking at one, difficulty of obtaining these, the fact that it's an absolutely complete collection of uncirculated Kennedy half dollars from the 1960s. Every Philadelphia mint and every Denver mint in uncirculated condition is put in here. You get all 7 coins, not $79.95 a piece or $79.95 for these. I see people selling these right here. Like I said, I've got $70, $83 individual pricing on just these 2 coins. By the way, the other ones are at are going to average a little over $20 a piece. So, you know, you're looking at that at 100, there's almost $200 is what you're looking at right there. And so you got a price opportunity here. On top of that, you got the fact that we just have them all. And it's not just the fact that I'm giving you $20 off a price. I think $99, I haven't hit anything below $99. It's got to be the better part of half a dozen or a dozen years since I've been able to do that. Once again, and I got a pretty decent quantity, but these are screaming out of here right
They
now.
really are. Because even if you're looking at this like I am from a nostalgic standpoint, I mean, I've been wanting to get my niece and nephew started with coin collecting, and this is maybe how a lot of us do that. Because, you know, I'm certainly no history buff like my producer Rick, but, you know, my nephew is very interested in history, so not only is there that nostalgia and that history that is really a historic price for us in a lot of regards. I mean, if you just took our regular HSN price of $100, that would be about half off what you would find in terms of what the market would bear. And at a $79.95 price with 2 flex pays, that is about as irresistible as it gets. If you do have an HSN card, you even get an extra flex pay, which is also, you know, kind of crazy. It takes it over the top. And to Mike's point, it's not only something that's piqued a lot of interest, but a lot of you, like myself, are considering getting more than one of these.
As well you should. Like I said, they are all silver. 1964, you get both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. It is the complete set. It is all silver. The lowest price I've done in a decade on these. Now is absolutely positively the time to get in.
Absolutely. Hey, Rick, I just want to double check on that, on the previous set, on the penny, the West Point. What do we, 240 only, Mike. Left.
Is that all that's left?
Yeah, that's all that's left.